Hello and a very warm welcome to today's session brought to you by Team Textbook Super Coaching. I hope all of you are doing really well. देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से आज के एकदम स्क्रैच से प्रेपरेशन पार्ट 5 को स्टार्ट करते हैं. आई होप आप लोगों ने मॉर्निंग के मास्टर क्लास के क्वेश्चंस को भी रिव्यू कर लिया होगा और कल भी जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हम लोगों ने कवर किए थे उनको अच्छी तरह से देख लिया होगा. नाउ इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन और जो अगले हफ्ते भी हम लोग करेंगे वी विल बी लुकिंग एट टॉपिक वाइज डिस्कशन ऑल्सो ताकि आपका थ्योरी भी अच्छी तरीके से कवर हो जाए, राइट? So that is also something that we'll be looking at. So without further ado, let's just very quickly get started. I hope आप लोगों को पता है you blocked your calendars और अभी से आप लोगों ने अपने यूनिट ड्रामा को कवर करना स्टार्ट कर दिया होगा. We will be looking at the drama unit on Sunday. हम लोग दोनों थ्योरी as well as questions के फॉर्मेट में we will be looking at the unit of drama. तो आपका ड्रामा का वो थ्योरी as well as good evening, good evening. Good evening, Debashish, Sujit, Devashti, Vishnu, Anjali, Rashmi, Simar, Wilfran, Balkishan, Ethereal, Deeman. Good evening, everybody. चलिए देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से let's just quickly get started. हम लोगों ने आज मॉर्निंग के मास्टर क्लास में भी कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स को देखा था. We had looked at those concepts. एक एक करके थोड़े से और कॉन्सेप्ट्स को यहाँ पर रिव्यू करते हैं. Let's just quickly get started. Which of the following describes Foucault's views on knowledge? Foucault's views on knowledge. फुको के जो व्यूज हैं ऑन नॉलेज इनमें से कौन सा इज एक्चुअली ट्राइंग टू डिस्क्राइब दैट. Foucault's views on knowledge. Foucault's views on knowledge. Knowledge is not metaphysical or transcendental. Knowledge is not. That is true. That is absolutely correct. Foucault बताना चाहता है knowledge is not innocent. So when we are looking at surveillance, panopticon या Foucault के other ideas and knowledge production centers जो Foucault बोलते हैं, even Edward Said, the pioneer post-colonial scholar, was actually inspired by Michel Foucault. तो ये चीज आपको याद रखनी है. Knowledge is not a matter of perspective. Knowledge is not a matter of perspective. See, that is not true. Rather, knowledge is perspective. आप कौन से व्यू पॉइंट को इंडोर्स कर रहे हैं, आप कौन से ओपिनियन को सही मानते हैं. Knowledge is not pure nor or neutral, but is always from the point of view. That's right. Knowledge is always having a point of view. It is either supporting the dominant ideology or it is trying to further the dominant discourse altogether. जो knowledge production centers को control करते हैं, those are people in power. ठीक है? तो please remember, knowledge is unconstrained by regimes of power. No, knowledge is constrained. Knowledge is constrained by regimes of power. Knowledge is the matter of perspective. ये सारे के सारे आप उल्टा लिख भी सकते हैं. These are features of knowledge according to Foucault. YouTube के ऊपर ही हम लोगों ने जो आपको प्लेलिस्ट के अंदर से भी मिल जाएंगे, टेलीग्राम प्लेटफॉर्म के लिंक्स पे भी मिल जाएंगे. हम लोगों ने जब पोस्ट कॉलोनियलिज्म को डिस्कस किया था, we had looked at the critical works of Foucault, we looked at what Foucault was talking about, we looked at the most important ideas जो Michel Foucault दे रहे हैं, we had talked about that, so I hope you are able to recollect that. So knowledge जो है, what are we able to see? It is actually furthering a discourse. This is not apolitical, it's always historical, it is not metaphysical or transcendental. हमें लगता है knowledge sacrosanct है. That is not true. That is what Foucault tries to tell you. Regimes of power control. They control. और यहीं से वो कौन सा कॉन्सेप्ट देते हैं, यहीं से ही गिव्स द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ नॉलेज प्रोडक्शन हाउस, राइट? नॉलेज प्रोडक्शन सेंटर का वो एक तरह से हमें कॉन्सेप्ट दे रहे हैं. ही इज गिविंग अस द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ नॉलेज प्रोडक्शन सेंटर. So this is what we have to remember. Good evening, Samar, Devashish. Good evening, everybody. So please remember that because Foucault का जो ये आइडिया है, मिशेल Foucault का जो ये आइडियाज हैं, they are of course critically crucial. Moving on to the next question. Which two concepts developed by French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu have become increasingly influential in the domain of cultural studies? Cultural studies के डोमेन में इनमें से कौन सी चीजें बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हैं? Which two concepts have actually acquired a lot of importance and prominence? Dissemination नहीं है, genesis भी नहीं है, तो क्या आपके दो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं? वेरी गुड. कल्चरल कैपिटल एंड हैबिटस. कल्चरल कैपिटल एंड हैबिटस. आई विल हाइड माय सेल्फ सो दैट यू कैन एक्चुअली सी दिस एंटायर थिंग. कल्चरल कैपिटल एंड हैबिटस, ये जो आपके कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं, दे आर एक्चुअली मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट. सो कल्चर कैपिटल हैबिटस का जो कॉन्सेप्ट विच इज डेवलप्ड बाय पेरे बर्ड्यू, राइट? सो अगेन कल्चरल कैपिटल प्रॉपरली अच्छी तरह से ये बताते हैं. कल्चर कैपिटल इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट दैट इवन दो आपका जो इकोनॉमिक कैपिटल है दैट इज ऑल्सो गिविंग यू कल्चरल बैकिंग ऑल टुगेदर. ओके, म्यूजिक, हिस्ट्री, आर्ट्स, ये दे आर ऑल रूटेड. हैबिटस इज द फिजिकल मैनिफेस्टेशन. आप कहाँ पर रहते हैं, आप किस लोकेलिटी में रहते हैं. सो your location, basically location, the physical habitat that you are having. For instance, हमें पता है which are the posh parts of a particular area, which are the parts where you don't really have people, slums कौन से हैं. So what is that actually trying to tell you? That's trying to tell you the material reality. ठीक है, तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट्स आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. हैबिटस हो गया या फिर आपका कल्चरल कैपिटल हो गया, ये पहले बर्ड्यू हमें दे रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज प्रीटी सिंपल. द की फिगर्स इन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ब्रिटिश कल्चरल स्टडीज. ब्रिटिश कल्चरल स्टडीज में कौन कौन से की फिगर्स हैं? कौन कौन से की फिगर्स हैं? इसको आप अपनी कल्चरल स्टडीज के नोट्स में भी डाल सकते हैं. जैसे पहले 2-3 क्लासेस हम लोगों ने कल्चरल स्टडीज के कॉन्सेप्ट्स को किया था, राइट? So please keep that in mind. What is the correct answer? Richard Hogarth, Raymond Williams, Stuart Hall, right? Lawrence Grossberg नहीं है, right? Lawrence Grossberg नहीं है, Lawrence Grossberg नहीं है. So please keep that in mind. We are not talking about Lawrence Grossberg at all over here in this particular category. ये नेट क्या थोड़ा दिख रहा है? I thought that. Are you all able to see the questions properly? Are you all able to? Hello? Are the questions visible to everybody? Okay. I was not able to hear it. Maybe there was a issue over here. Okay, great. तो ये आपका Lawrence, so Lawrence Grossberg is not a person associated with it. Lawrence Grossberg नहीं है. Richard Hogarth, Raymond Williams, Stuart Hall, ये तीनों के तीनों important है, right? ये तीनों के तीनों आपके important है. Okay, this is what you will have to keep in mind. Cultural studies के अंदर, these are the 3 important people. These are the 3 important writers who are associated with it. Grossberg is not associated with cultural studies, right? Grossberg is not associated with cultural studies. चलिए जल्दी से बताइए, who are the co-editors of Chutnifying English, the Phenomena of English? Chutnifying English, the Phenomena of English. Chutnifying English, the Phenomena of English. Who are the people associated with Chutnifying English, the Phenomena of English? Chutnifying English, the Phenomena of English. Who are the people associated with it? So ये आपका रीटा कुथारी एंड रूपर्ट स्नेल, रीटा कुथारी एंड रूपर्ट स्नेल. तो ये आपका इंग्लिश इन इंडिया के अंदर, प्लीज ऐड दिस योर नोट्स रिलेटेड टू इंग्लिश इन इंडिया. जो आपके नोट्स हैं इंग्लिश इन इंडिया से एसोसिएटेड, प्लीज उनके अंदर ये कैटेगरी को प्लीज ऐड कर दीजिएगा, राइट? बोथ रीटा कुथारी एज वेल एज रूपर्ट स्नेल, दे हैव को-एडिटेड चटनीफाइंग इंग्लिश, द फिनोमेना ऑफ इंग्लिश, राइट? जो कि आपका इट वाज डिलीवर्ड एट अ कॉन्फ्रेंस इन बॉम्बे एंड एक्सप्लोर्स द इश्यूज of linguistics altogether, telling you about concepts of hybridization, the mixed language that you are able to see. Post-colonial literature में वैसे भी होमी के बाबा also talks about it, right? Baba is also discussing about it. Baba is also talking about these all aspects and ideas altogether. तो वो चीज आप यहाँ पर देख पा रहे हैं. English in India का important topic है. रीटा कुथारी, रूपर्ट स्नेल, they are associated with it. Which two of the following works were published after 1947? After 1947, after 1947 में से कौन सा वर्क आता है? Very good देवशीष, very good. Yes. So after 1947, after 1947, what is the correct answer over here? After 1947, कौन सा यहाँ पर सही हो जाता है? Now R.K. Narayan का Mr. Sampath, when we are talking about R.K. Narayan's Mr. Sampath, a printer of Malgudi, ये 1949 में आ रहा है, right? This is coming in 1949. So obviously it's asking after 1947. That is what you are able to see. Dark Room जो है उल्टा 1938 में you are able to see that this work is coming, right? Dark Room is published in 1938. Right, so ये आपका है मुल्कराज आनंद, 7 Summers 1951. 7 Summers मुल्कराज आनंद 1951. मुल्कराज आनंद is associated with it. मुल्कराज आनंद is writing 7 Summers. 7 Summers मुल्कराज आनंद लिख रहे हैं. तो मुल्कराज आनंद का ये वर्क है. बिग हार्ट जो है, बिग हार्ट was published in 1945. बिग हार्ट कब आ रहा है? 1945. So if you do your math correctly, you are able to see that किस तरह से ये जो जो वर्क्स हैं दे आर कमिंग इन. सो प्लीज रिमेंबर द डेट्स ऑल टुगेदर. आर.के. नारायण का मिस्टर संपत, अ प्रिंटर ऑफ मालगुडी, 1949. डार्क रूम, पब्लिश इन 1938. Okay, then when you're talking about Seven Summers is published in 1951, Big Heart 1945. तो ये dates याद रखिएगा because इस तरह के questions पे आपसे पूछे जाते हैं that you know which works are we predominantly trying to look at. Okay, which of the following stylistic features characterizes spoken discourse? Characterizes spoken discourse. Which of the following stylistic features characterizes the spoken discourse? Character, huh, exactly. That is what I was saying. Is it clear? Because even to me, it was coming as blurred only. That is the reason I was asking all of you. Even to me, I was able to see it blurred. Maybe you're able to see it better. Okay, यहाँ पर देखिएगा and then tell us greater use stylistic features characterize spoken discourse. Spoken discourse का जो part है what is associated greater use of explicit connectives, greater dependence on non-verbal connectives. Spoken discourse में आप non-verbal connectives को भी देखते हैं. You are able to look at it. Greater syntactic embedding, ग्रेटर यूज ऑफ फिलर्स एंड रेपिटेशंस. देखो जब आप स्पोकन डिस्कोर्स करते हैं ना तो उसमें बहुत फिलर्स आते हैं. बार बार हम कुछ कुछ वर्ड्स को रिपीट करते हैं, उनका सहारा लेते हैं. रेपिटेशंस आर अ लॉट ऑल टुगेदर स्पोकन डिस्कोर्स के अंदर. तो नॉन वर्बल कनेक्शंस, माय फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस, the tone, the modulation, the emphasis that is coming in. तो नॉन वर्बल कनेक्शंस भी आपका आ रहा है. ये सब नॉन वर्बल है, दिस नॉट वर्बल. जो टोन होती है या मेरा एक्सप्रेशंस है या किस तरह से आई एम बिहेविंग, माय बॉडी लैंग्वेज, वेदर इट्स कोल्ड और नॉट, ये सब इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं, राइट? So you have to keep that in mind when we talk about spoken discourse. It's direct, it's conversational. इसमें non-verbal connectives use हो रहे हैं, non-verbal connectives use हो रहे हैं इसके अंदर. Right, we are able to see the presence of non-verbal connectives. Non-verbal connectives आ रहे हैं इसके अंदर, as well as non-verbal connectives के साथ साथ आपका fillers, repetitions, ये भी आप बहुत सारी देख पाते हो. You are actually able to look at a lot of these fillers. You are able to sense a lot of these repetitions also. क्योंकि अक्सर आपके stylistics हो गए, ये सारे के सारे questions आपसे पूछे जाते हैं, so you should be more mindful about these kind of questions overall. ठीक है, तो ये please थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखिएगा. I'm also able to actually experience that yes, it's actually getting blurred. हाँ, some questions are getting blurred. Let me just refresh it. Even I'm actually able to see the blurred version only. Give me a second. I'm just trying to refresh it. Then अगर refresh करने से better होता है तो I will just try to do that. 1 second. Just let me know अगर you know blurring कम नहीं. Even I'm actually able to see पूरा का पूरा blurred ही. That is the reason. Sorry. Hmm. Yeah, but this question visible properly? क्या ये वाला question आपको visible था या नहीं? ये वाला भी visible नहीं था? Okay, what I'll do is I will. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to refresh it. Okay. I'm just refreshing this page. Then maybe you can see it whether it's fine or not. Even the morning actually, because of the net issue only, the masterclass got disrupted. Mm. Okay, you can tell me whether this is visible to you better. ये एक बार देखिएगा और बताइएगा whether this is visible to you better. क्या ये आपको better visible है? Yeah, Maya is saying just change the quality actually. Which two aspects of cultural diffusion in the age of globalization need to be addressed by pedagogy of language in general, pedagogy of language in general, and of English in particular. What is the correct answer over here? यहाँ पर what becomes the right answer that you are able to see? um, Yes. जल्दी से देख के बताइए. So here when we are talking about these things, these are of course important. ठीक है, these are of course important. Which two aspects of cultural diffusion in the age of globalization need to be addressed in pedagogy of language in general and English in particular? देखिए, when we are talking about pedagogy, when we are looking at pedagogy, one of the unique problems that we are able to see is multi-directionality. Unidirectionality होता तो problem तो नहीं होती, राइट ये तो प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं होती. कल्चरल डिफ्यूजन जो आपका है, एंड वी आर एबल टू सी दैट वी नीड टू एड्रेस दिस. सो यूनिडायरेक्शनैलिटी होती तो हमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती, मल्टी डायरेक्शनैलिटी है तभी हमें इश्यूज आ रहे हैं. दैट इज द रीजन वी आर फेसिंग प्रॉब्लम्स एंड इट्स वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स. इट्स अ नेवर एंडिंग ओशन ऑल टुगेदर. आप सब लोग जो नेट के लिए तैयारी कर रहे होते हैं, यही तो मेजर प्रॉब्लम आता है, दैट द सिलेबस इज टू वास्ट, राइट? द सिलेबस इज टू वास्ट ऑल टुगेदर. दैट इज वन ऑफ द मेजर कंसर्न्स दैट वी आर एबल टू सी, राइट? सो ये चीज आपको थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा कि हाउ वी आर एबल टू लुक एट, हाउ वी आर एबल टू सी दैट व्हेन वी आर लुकिंग एट द डिस्कोर्स ऑफ लैंग्वेज, व्हेन वी आर ट्राइंग टू कैप्चर अ प्रॉपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ लैंग्वेज पेडागोजी, इसके अंदर मल्टी डायमेंशनैलिटी एंड कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्सटेंसिव, ये चीजें बहुत ज्यादा आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती हैं. दीज आर द स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड इश्यूज दैट वी आर लार्जली एबल टू सी. ये इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज एंड कंसर्न्स हो जाते हैं हमारे लिए, जिनको हमें डील करना पड़ता है. सो पेडागोजी actually is multi-directional, it is complex, it is extensive, right? And these are the kind of issues, but that only contributes to the beauty also. So it is multi-directional. ये diffusion के अंदर ये सारी चीजें address करनी होती है, scope vast होता है, familiarity बढ़ते बढ़ते बढ़ती है. It's not that immediately आपकी familiarity बढ़ जाएगी. That's another aspect that you're largely able to see. ठीक है, moving on to the next question. Read the following lyrical passage from Waiting for Godot. Right, Vladimir, they all speak together, Estragon, each one to itself. Silence. What is the playwright trying to imply through this dialogue? What is he trying to imply through this dialogue? A, B, C, D. What is he trying to, imply through the dialogue? Good evening, Rani. यहाँ पर what is he basically trying to imply in this particular situation? What is the major implication that we are able to, okay, answer has also come, over here, your answer you are able to see over here itself. So here please understand this, that when we are talking about waiting for Godot may the kind of misunderstandings that you're able to see. So if you look at the answer over here, characters inability to maintain meaningful speech, characters and they are trying to say characters disinterest in talking to each other, language failure to capture, ये सब important है, but उस line में देखो, they all speak together, each one to itself, right? So language failure to capture the central idea altogether, and unfortunately they are not able to maintain meaningful speech altogether. They are not able to maintain meaningful speech altogether. That is another issue that we are able to see. Disinterest in talking to each other is not coming. Language is only not being successful. Language is not being successful at all. तो यही एक तरह से language का जो you are able to look at कि किस तरह से language is doubly like they say, it's this double pointed sword that is coming in. So this is another important thing that we're able to look at. ठीक है, तो इसको please ध्यान में रखिएगा and please keep that in mind. Which two principal kinds of melancholy are proposed by Robert Burton in volume 3 of the Anatomy of Melancholy? Robert Burton, right? Robert Burton in volume 3 of the Anatomy of Melancholy. Robert Burton, right? Robert Burton in volume 3 of the Anatomy of Melancholy. What is the correct answer over here? What is the correct answer over here? Yes, जल्दी से बताइए क्या सही जवाब हो जाता है? What becomes the correct answer over here? So Robert Burton's The Anatomy of Melancholy, right? The Anatomy of Melancholy what are the two important kinds, what are the two important kinds, anatomy of melancholy जो रॉबर्ट बर्टन लेके आ रहे हैं, what are the two important kinds of melancholy that Burton is trying to talk about? Love is there and religious is there. These are the two important melancholic patterns. नॉन फिक्शनल प्रोज आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये यूनिट आपको ठीक से करना है. एनाटॉमी ऑफ मेलेंकली जो फिलोसॉफिकल साइकोलॉजिकल स्टडी है ऑफ स्टेट्स ऑफ ह्यूमन माइंड बाय रॉबर्ट बर्टन, राइट. दिस इज व्हाट यू आर एबल टू सी. ही इज ट्राइंग टू टेल यू अबाउट टू प्रिंसिपल काइंड्स ऑफ मेलेंकली. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क है दैट यू आर एबल टू लुक एट. ओके, and afflictions of love, that is what he's trying to discuss over here as well. Okay, so this is primarily what gets covered over here in Robert Burton's Anatomy of Melancholy. Non-fictional prose writings के अंदर this becomes important, so please keep this in mind. Which two of the following are autobiographical narratives? इनमें से कौन से दो ऐसे narratives हैं which are autobiographical narratives? Which two are autobiographical narratives? इनमें से कौन से ऐसे narratives हैं that are autobiographical in nature? That are autobiographical in nature. That are autobiographical in nature. So meatless days and prison and chocolate cake. Right? Very good, Haripriya. Very good. No, Haripriya ने सही नहीं दिया है. Meatless Days and Prison and Chocolate Cake, these are the two autobiographical works that we are able to see. ये दोनों के दोनों आपकी autobiographical writings हैं. These are two autobiographical writings. Meatless Days कौन लिख रहा है? This is Sarah Sulary Goodyear who's writing it. And Prison and Chocolate Cake, Nayantara Sehgal's memoir that we are able to see. Sarah Sulary is trying to tell you about the violent history of Pakistan's independence, right? Her own fractured identity. And Prison and Chocolate, Chocolate Cake, it is trying to tell you about Nayantara Sehgal's own political, so-called politically loaded upbringing, the practice of cake that you were able to look at. Baking. Which two of the following correctly describes the features of Wuthering Heights? Which two of the following correctly describes the features of Wuthering Heights? The features of Wuthering Heights. आपको features of Wuthering Heights में features of Wuthering Heights कहाँ पे describe properly हैं? The features of Wuthering Heights. The features of Wuthering Heights. The features of Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights के जो features है, it's considered to be Gothic work as well. That is of course important, right? Flashbacks and time shifts आपके आ रहे हैं. Oedipal obsessions नहीं है. Magic and ritual नहीं है. Acute evocation of place. या Wuthering Heights place का ये बहुत ज्यादा है. आज हम लोगों ने place से related दो terms करे हैं. Peribourdieu का habitus which talks about the physical space. Wuthering Heights is also the estate is very important. Estate is very important. याद है हम लोगों ने country house poetry से YouTube में discuss करा था. I think last week when we talked about country house poetry. I hope you are able to recollect country house poetry praising the estate of a patron. Country house poetry में आप क्या कर रहे हो? Philip Sidney के estate को praise किया जाता है. You're praising the estate of a patron. So that is what is coming in. So Emily Bronte ka Wuthering Heights that we're able to see time shifts and Yorkshire as well as the estate that you're able to see. So Wuthering Heights, that is what it's trying to talk about. Okay, moving on. Which two of the following novels belongs to the Victorian age in English literature? Victorian age में कौन सी novels associated हैं? Which two of the following novels belong to the Victorian age in English literature? Belongs to the Victorian age in English literature. Which works are we talking about? Which works are we talking about? कौन से works को we are discussing? So we have Pendennis. We are having Pendennis and Barsetshire Towers. Pendennis is there and Barsetshire Towers. ये दोनों के दोनों आपके Victorian literature से associated हैं. Pendennis is a work by William Makepeace Thackeray. Barsetshire Towers, Anthony Trollope, Palliser novels भी बोले जाते हैं. 19th century novels have been repeating multiple times as an important topic, right? 19th century novels क्या cover करता है? Loose baggy monsters, कैसे realism को depict कर रहे हैं. That is another thing that we are able to see. Which of the following novels deals with the theme of apartheid? Apartheid, African literature, South African literature, एक तरह से आप देख सकते हैं. So what is the correct answer? 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 What becomes the correct answer over here? What becomes the correct answer over here? So July's people and cry the beloved country. July's people and cry the beloved country. July's people and cry the beloved country. Purple hibiscus नहीं है, mimic man नहीं, ये सारे पोस्ट colonial literature के हैं, but apartheid में ये दोनों के दोनों ही हैं. July's people by Nadine Gordimer, ये हम लोगों ने YouTube क्लास में पहले भी एक बार डिस्कस किया है about July's people. Gordimer का किस तरह से owner is going to the servant's place July in order to escape apartheid. Cry the beloved country. Please add it in your African literature notes also if you've not added so far, by Alan Payton, right? Alan Payton. So Cry the Beloved Country, historical period of racial tension that we are able to see over here. Okay. Dhiman actually ना पहले नहीं था, but now I have refreshed it, so I'm also able to see it properly. So एक बार just try seeing whether it's clearly visible. Which two names in R.M. Ballantyne's Coral Island are repeated in William Golding's reworking of the text as Lord of the Flies? As Lord of the Flies. Which two names from R.M. Ballantyne Coral Island are repeated in William Golding's reworking of the same text as Lord of the Flies? Lord of the Flies. कौन से ये जो दो characters आपके आ रहे हैं? Which two characters are we talking about? So Ralph is there to give you a hint, so you can use the elimination method, right? You can use the elimination method. Ralph is there and Jack is there. Ralph and Jack. Ralph and Jack. रैल्फ एंड जैक. रैल्फ एंड जैक जो है ये बोथ आपके दोनों, आज याद है हम लोगों ने यही क्वेश्चन किया था मास्टर क्लास में. हम आई थिंक मास्टर क्लास में किया था ना क्वेश्चन, या फाउंडेशन बैच में किया था, जो मैंने आपको बताया था एरियल का कैरेक्टर टेम्पेस्ट में भी है. जैसे आपका रेप ऑफ द लॉक के अंदर भी एरियल का कैरेक्टर आ रहा है, बट देयर वाज अ वर्क इन विच इट वाजंट कमिंग इन. तो इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आपके आते रहते हैं अबाउट कैरेक्टर्स एंड यू नो द कॉमन कैरेक्टर्स. स्टीफन डीडलिस का क्वेश्चन आ चुका है आपके नेट एग्जाम में. जेम्स जॉयस के वर्क, स्टीफन डीडलिस का कैरेक्टर. Okay, so Lord of the Flies, which was originally titled Strangers from Within. Strangers from Within. It is telling you about band of boys who, after a plane crash, find themselves in the abandoned island. Okay, it's an allegory of human civilization that you are able to see. ठीक है, पूरा अनार्की भी एक तरह से डिपिक्ट की जाती है यहाँ पर. That is what you are able to look at. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which two of the following poems can be categorized as belonging to the neoclassical period of English literature? Neoclassical period of English literature. Shilpa Wilfrant, right, master class में. Neoclassical period of English literature. Neoclassical period of English literature. कौन से वर्क्स न्यू क्लासिकल पीरियड ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर को डिपिक्ट कर रहे हैं? सो वी हैव वैनिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन विशेस एंड कैटो. We have vanity of human wishes and Cato, right? We are having vanity of human wishes and Cato. Both of these are examples. Both of these are examples that we are able to see, right? Both of these are examples that we are able to look at. Okay, so ये आपको थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखना है. So vanity of human wishes by Samuel Johnson, Cato by Joseph Addison, right? So please keep that in mind. ये दोनों के दोनों words आपके new classical age. These are associated with your new classical age. New classical age से associated है. In Paradise Lost, Milton invokes his heavenly muse Urania at the beginning of which two books? Beginning of which two books? Beginning of which two books he is invoking these? Beginning of which two books he is invoking these? Beginning of which two books is he invoking these? Beginning of which two books is he invoking these? What becomes the correct answer over here? Konsa becomes the correct answer. What becomes the correct answer here? In Paradise Lost, Milton invokes his heavenly muse Urania. Okay. Yes, that's right. In book A, right, that is your first book that you are able to see. So invocation आपका first book के अंदर होता है, right? Invocation आपका first book के अंदर होता है. Not in book 4, not in book 9, but also in book 7. So book 7 as well as book 1 दोनों के अंदर आपका invocation to Urania आ रहा है. Invocation to Urania is coming in both of these, right? Both book 1 as well as book 7. Now, today, technically, in between yesterday and today, we've technically looked at, say, about over 50 concepts from yesterday's YouTube class, as well as morning's master class, as well as right now. इन सारी concepts को आप अच्छी तरह से review कीजिएगा. Link, of course, आपको Telegram platform पे भी दिया जा रहा है. Just revise all of these all together. आज का आपका homework, is to make sure that you are reviewing, is to make sure that you are actually going over, right? You are going over all these over 50 concepts that we've looked at in between yesterday's YT session, आज की सुबह की master class और अभी का YT session. एक बार इसको thoroughly go through कीजिएगा. I will catch up. We'll be continuing from this, and next week we'll be looking at some critical key texts. उनको हम अच्छी तरह से देखेंगे. We'll be covering them end to end. That is what we'll be looking at. Fine. Okay, great. Thanks, Fatima. Yes, please do like. So, like I said, a brand CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, that is Fatima. Fatima's already got, this job altogether. Fatima is the one. So yes, please do like and share, and just make sure that you spread the knowledge and knowledge transfer. Okay, great. Thanks everyone. Take good care of yourselves. Thank you so much, Shilpa, Kasturi, Zamar, Fatima, Vishnu, Rani, Wilfran, Sonali, Devashish, Rani, Anjali, Kasturi. Good night, sweet dreams, everyone. Take good care of yourselves. Please review this and come. और अगर कोई भी और doubt हो तो do keep us posted. I'll see you all tomorrow in the masterclass at 9 o'clock, where we'll be doing another important worksheet altogether, a little correlated from this particular series of questions that we are doing. Thanks everyone for joining. Take good care of yourselves. I'll catch up with all of you tomorrow in the morning for the masterclass. Thanks.